Hello everybody and welcome back again to Let's Play Disco Elysium. Alright, in the last episode we finally had, well, a bigger breakthrough I would say, because the Hardy Boys finally gave up their rape lynching story, which they completely made up, and instead came up with a new story, for which we at least have some confirmation, like the broken window that was replaced. But there's still a bunch of questions that I have here. Also, if they did this to cover up a murder, it seems like the worst way to go about it, by drawing even more attention to it, by staging it as a lynching. I mean, yeah, they didn't want the police involved, but I feel this made it even more interesting for the police to investigate. They should have just dumped the body into the river or something, you know? And then, yeah, sometime later it would have been found. But it would have been much harder to make a connection to this place and, you know, whatever happened here. So, yeah, it's a little bit strange that they went through all that trouble, especially since they apparently knew that he was shot. They still thought, oh, we can just hang him and it will fool people and they won't find the bullet or whatever. So, it's kind of weird. Also, I can't help but wonder if they actually discussed their elaborate plan with Glacia. Because she already went off script at least twice. I mean, first of all, she wasn't willing to lie about the rape part. And then she called the police anyway. You know, the one thing they wanted to prevent from happening. Because apparently seeing him hanging on that tree for days kinda upset her. So, I don't know, didn't they just forget to tell her about that, or was she just too drugged up to understand what she was agreeing to when they discussed this plan? Because, I mean, allegedly they did it to protect her, or because they wanted to, you know, keep her away from the police or whatever. But yeah, I guess I will still have to talk to Classy about this again. Yeah, this is the next step in my quest. Confront Glacia with a Hardy story. Because, I mean, she's going along with the story to some extent because she didn't tell me about the fact that he was shot. So, she's still trying to hide that part. But she didn't go along with the motive, which is the rape. And, you know, she called the police anyway. So, And obviously we need to find, like, the missing Hardy boy, the lady driver, because if all of this was her idea, then maybe she can tell me why they did this convoluted plan instead of just, you know, disposing of the body or something. But yeah, I guess, back to Glacia it is. With each new piece of information, we need to go back to her and tell her that she's not really telling us the whole story. Alright, Glacia, here I am again.
It's always good to see you.
She cracks a wary smile, leaning back against the railing.
Something in her demeanor has changed. She's tired, consigned to her fate, to being here with you and what's to come.
Okay, I mean, maybe that means that she's finally going to tell us the truth about what happened, if she's tired of this charade. Alright, my chances for this skill check have increased. A little bit, at least. But yeah, let's first talk about the murder again, because the Hardy Boys finally told us what really happened. At least I hope so.
I understand.
She puts her coffee mug onto the table.
Just like that. No resistance. Her shoulders are slouched, her feet long and straight.
You don't look surprised you were expecting this. Well, yeah, I mean, you have been kind of intentionally or unintentionally sabotaging the cover-up story already, so you should have expected the whole story to fall apart at some point. You sent us on a run around, you lied to us, miss. Chill, I'm the cool cop, remember? Yeah, you're not really surprised by this, huh?
I knew there was a chance you'd get them to tell you. It's what you do. You're the police.
Indeed.
For what it's worth, I'm sorry for wasting your time.
Okay, but why have you been wasting my time?
This is good. Clear the air first, between you two. Then move on to questions.
Good advice.
Is it? Something is off here.
Yeah, there's a lot of stuff off here, but I still would like to, form a good relationship with her, so maybe she will finally tell me the truth.
Shush, I can't hear what she's saying. Let the miss speak. She's tall and thin and tired. A twig trying so hard not to break.
Okay.
If you knew we would find out eventually, why did you waste our time?
Exactly.
Because of the Hardys. I couldn't just dispense with them. They were only trying to help me. Out of the shit I'd gotten into.
Okay, so you did it for them because they were doing it for you, but you weren't really fully into the whole cover-up story because, like I said, you weren't willing to go along with all, parts of the story. You called the police anyway, so maybe you should have talked to them and, come up with a better plan, one that you were willing to go along with. That's not good enough reason. Cool, I'm satisfied with this explanation. Yeah, I feel this is not really good enough a reason because why did you agree to this plan in the first place if you were not willing to go along with it? Or maybe you did not agree to this plan in the first place. Maybe they just decided to do it without asking you. I need more answers here, miss.
You're right. There's more.
What exactly?
You answer to the coalition government, and by extension, the moral intern.
She reaches for a new cigarette.
Briefly glancing over her shoulder to the sea, as she's done time and time again.
And, the Hardy boys implied that maybe someone from the moral intern is kinda after her for some reason?
A grand expanse of water reaches over the bay and to the horizon, golden grey in the noonlight.
And what lies beyond it?
The Pearl, the Muindi Isola, the Occident, and then Oranje, the old world.
Is that why you're looking over your shoulder? You're afraid of the moral intern? What's the RCM's involvement with the moral intern got to do with this? The RCM isn't the lapdog of the moral intern, you don't have to worry. By many accounts, the RCM is exactly that. At least, she seems to believe it, so it's kind of pointless to argue against it. So, are you afraid of the moral intern?
You share a database with them. You send people to their courts.
She lights a cigarette. What's going on? What did you do? So, are you saying the moral intern or the RCM is after you and you're afraid of being sent to court? So, what did you do?
Just business. But bad business for some people in the moral intern. If I show up in your records, officer, they will find me. They will...
Okay, so at least that part of the story, she's actually confirming that someone is after her and she can't show up in the records.
What happens if they do?
They will kill me, sir. If you file my name, take me in for questioning, enter me into the moral intern mill, well, then I'm fucked. For nothing. This murder didn't have anything to do with me.
Are you sure? Yes, it could have been that the person wanted to kill Laylee, but if someone's after you, then maybe they tried to kill you to begin with.
Actually, this murder did have a little to do with her.
What did you do to have these people after you? What happened here the night he died? Why did you call the cops if you are hiding? These are all very good questions. So, I hope I can ask all of them. So, what exactly did you do? I kinda doubt that she's going to tell me, but I have to ask, right?
It's not nice, but it's not illegal. Not here in Ravishol, or even in Oranje.
Okay, so you did something that's not illegal, but it's not nice. Can you tell me more about that?
What exactly did you do?
Industrial espionage.
Huh.
I joined a business collective with the intention of betraying them. I did my job well enough to be asked to do it again.
And that's not illegal. But still, it put you on some kind of list and they want to kill you now. Interesting.
With a bigger company. The kind you really, really don't fuck with. I took their ledgers. 2 decades worth of accounting.
I mean, this does sound kind of illegal to me, but I'm not familiar with the local laws, so maybe it's actually not illegal around here.
I need the names of the companies involved and who hired you.
He taps on his notebook.
The job was Elysium County Savings Bank. They sound small, but they're part of the Lou Scott conglomerate. That was the second job. The first was some printer company. You wouldn't know them.
Okay.
As to who hired me for the job, I don't know. But they're after me too. Along with Lou Scott and their friends in the MI. Once you're done in the competitive intelligence circuit, you don't have allies. You're radioactive.
Okay, so the people that hired you are after you as well? Because they have no use for you anymore and maybe they're worried that you will, tell the police about it? Okay. I mean, it's a motive for, going after someone. Then again, she already lied to me a few times, so we will see if this is going to check out. But for now, we're going to, take it at face value.
Laws Cap. These people engineer financial disasters in second world countries. The conglomerate also includes the Bank of Consecration, Airberg, and the popular Papalolo line of dairy products.
Papalolo. I'm sure there are people who have done much worse than that. Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Serves them right. When I am king, the savings banks will be first against the wall. You're right, this is bad. You've destroyed what people have built. That's a lot of shit you've gotten yourself into. Yeah, apparently they produce Papalolo dairy products.
Yeah. Papa fucking Lolo wants to kill me.
Well, that is certainly something. Yeah, I feel people have done much worse than this.
Sure. I'm not a war criminal, but it was bad. People lost their jobs. Good people, too, not just C-suite.
She shakes her head at the thought.
A lot of people got hurt. But that's just more of my shit you shouldn't have to deal with. You're solving a murder.
Right. I guess this is a crime. Well, I guess not a crime because it's not illegal, but in the end it doesn't really matter to me. Assuming that the person who killed the mercenary didn't want to kill her instead. Yeah, but can you tell me exactly what happened here the night he died?
We were there. Together. In bed, I mean.
All right. Can you give me more details?
Okay. He was in a kneeling position. He had just entered me. I was on my back, looking at him. I heard the window behind me shatter, and I turned to look. There was a hole in the glass.
Well, I guess I asked for details, so she gave me details.
I turned back to him. His eyes were looking through me, and his mouth was open. Dumb. I could see. I could.
Her chest rises and falls with each word. She keeps herself together and says it.
I knew he was dead. Before he fell down on top of me.
And then what happened? You don't have to continue if you don't want to. Yeah, I don't know. I guess I need to know what happened after that, though.
He was heavy. I pushed him off and he fell to the floor. There. He only had his boots on. I bit the pillow, not to scream, then ran downstairs.
There's a long pause. She just stands there, her arms at her sides.
I waited for the second shot to come. For me. I thought there would be one. It never came.
I mean, it's a good question as well. Whoever killed him didn't try to shoot again to kill the witness as well. So it was just about him, or like I said, maybe the bullet was intended for her and the person just missed. But that was one hell of a miss, because it killed the guy in one shot. So, yeah, I don't know. At this point, I'm going to assume the person wanted to kill Laylee and not her.
She's forgotten about her cigarette. The butt has burned right down to her fingernails.
Your cigarette, miss. I'm sorry this happened to you. Are you sure you're not making this up? I don't know. This feels a little bit too, detailed to be made up. I'm actually willing to believe her on this. That's the motherfucker. We're going to need more details. Even more. But yeah, don't forget about your cigarette.
Oh.
She looks at it and quickly tosses the butt aside. But yeah, I guess I'm sorry this happened to you.
So am I.
She immediately proceeds to light another one.
What time was this? When did it happen? It would help us if you could be as precise as possible.
11:30 to 12:15. I don't know the exact time. Around midnight.
All right, around midnight.
It's okay. Were you inebriated?
Not as much as usual. He'd done a line, plus other things. I was drinking.
I mean, the Hardy Boys seem to disagree. They were like, she was, drugged and more than usual. At least that's how I interpreted what Titus was telling me. But okay.
Wait. Titus said she was gurning her jaw off.
Exactly.
Much more than usual.
So I remember correctly. Titus said you look pretty high.
Oh, yeah. I did one of his lines, just to clear my head.
Okay, so afterwards, you say?
Did you hear or see the shooter in the course of this?
No,
And what did you do then?
nothing. I was trapped. I was stuck in my room downstairs. I got some clothes on and crawled back up, drew the blinds. Blood was coming from his mouth. Not a lot. Just a little.
Yeah, we didn't see any blood in her bedroom, so they must have cleaned it up quite well.
He was still on the floor, slouched. I couldn't be there with him anymore, so I ran down and out of my room, into the hallway, down the stairs. I knew there would be people there.
What happened after you ran downstairs when it happened? Did you hear a gunshot? Did you kill Haley? I mean, that's literally impossible, because if she was inside with him and the bullet came through the window, it is not possible that it was her. I mean, I guess she could be lying about being with him. She could have been outside and shot him, but I have no reason to assume that. Could the people after you have killed him? Why did you call the cops if you're hiding? Let's see. What happened after you ran downstairs?
Sylvie was tending the bar. A lot of people were there. The Hardys were at the table in front of the stage. I think the Union box was full.
Okay.
Ruby was there too. They were having such a good time. I sat down and they all welcomed me. I didn't even have to say anything. Ruby knew something was wrong.
Ruby.
Ruby?
Before we continue, who is Ruby? Is that our lady driver by any chance?
Ruby. You know, the leader.
The leader?
The leader? Of what?
The Hardy Boys.
Okay, so this is our missing Hardy Boy, and apparently she's actually the leader of the Hardy Boys. I thought Hardy was the leader of the Hardy Boys. Yeah, Titus, right?
Well, nominally, yes. Ruby's the one they go to when things happen, like things they need taken care of. She's the organizer.
Yeah, and she organized this cover-up, apparently.
This Ruby, in her phrasing, is entrusted with great power. She trusts her. So do the others.
Clearly, I mean, all of the Hardy Boys were willing to take a metaphorical bullet for her by confessing to a murder they didn't do. So she must have quite a bit of power.
Would you say she is the 8th Hardy Boy?
Why not?
Okay, let's go on. What happened then?
Well, Ruby said let's talk upstairs. I showed her the room. I've known these people since December. They know my situation, that I can't leave a paper trail. Ruby was the first one I told. She said she'd take care of this. It's what she does, you know, take care of things. I helped her get the body to the bathroom. We used a belt to pull him up under the shower, to keep him upright.
Okay.
To mislead you, they were tampering with the body.
Yeah, they wanted to cover up what really happened.
To produce lividity, matching a hanging?
Yes.
Okay, so they already hung him in the shower before putting him on the tree.
We completely missed the tampering. Looks like you got there in time. What was this, 20 minutes after death?
About 20, yes. Ruby explained it would make the blood... You know what he does.
She looks at the ground, then raises her light brown eyes to meet yours. Then what did you do? That's enough. I had another question. No, please continue.
Ruby went outside to talk to Titus and the boys. I was just looking at Lely in the bathroom. I had to put his clothes back on. His armor, too. It was tough, but I've seen him take it off and put it on many times.
Okay, so he was fully armored when they hanged him, and then the armor was stolen later.
It took Ruby maybe half an hour to come back with Titus. I'd gotten him ready by then. They carried him out. I knew what they were going to do. Make it look like a hanging. Ruby said they would.
What did you do while they were hanging him? Yeah, clearly you didn't object to their plan at that point. I guess she was just too upset at that moment. And then later she realized that she doesn't really like him hanging on that tree.
Ruby said to wait here. She also said I wouldn't see her for a while. That we should lay low or something. So I did.
This Ruby, where is this Ruby now? Yes, I haven't seen her so far.
I don't know. I haven't seen her since.
So Ruby's just gone.
We will need to take this question to the Hardy Boys.
So back to the Hardy Boys it is, I suppose.
Interesting. Why did this Ruby go through so much trouble to hide something someone else did? Look into this later.
Yeah, I'm still a little bit confused about their motive, if it's really just about helping Klaasje. When it happened, did you hear a gunshot? Yeah, that's a good question. Did you actually hear the shot?
When he was shot? I may have. I don't know. I couldn't hear anything over the glass exploding.
Okay, fair enough.
The gunshot wasn't that loud. This is something to keep in mind when assessing the distance of the shot.
I will keep it in mind. I am reasonably certain that she didn't kill Laylee, so I'm not going to ask it. So, could the people after you killed him, maybe it was just a missed shot and they actually wanted to kill you?
That's the first thing that went through my head when I heard the glass break.
And?
I thought they'd found me. They've killed him to punish me. All last week, I've tried not to talk to anyone or be seen with anyone.
So you think he was a target, but only to send a warning to you? I mean, that's also possible, I guess.
So they wouldn't be hurt. I've come to understand, however, this is paranoia. What happened didn't have anything to do with me.
And what makes you so certain? But maybe it did, it probably didn't. Either way, something to consider. Yeah, I don't know. I feel this shouldn't be completely be dismissed as a possibility.
We can't go after Loose Cap. Not yet. There are other, saner leads.
Okay, if you say so, Kim.
I don't ask you to, Lieutenant. If there's one thing I know, it's that you'll get nothing from there.
All right, if you say so. Why did you call the cops if you're hiding? Yeah, apparently after a few days you decided to kinda call the police after all, even though this whole thing was to prevent this from happening?
Because I'm an idiot.
The answer comes fast.
Which is an indicator of truth. Idiot. She's nothing of the sort.
So you would have us believe, but you're not. I don't think so. Why did you do it? I'm not going to disagree with you. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's more to it. So, why exactly did you do it?
You have to understand, the people around here, no one was making the call, and he kept rotting. And then they picked his clothes off, and that little fucker threw stones at him.
So clearly, when they came up with that plan, she hadn't completely, thought about the consequences, that he would be hanging on that tree for days and she would have to watch him. So I guess she just changed her mind.
Her jaw is clenched. Her throat moves. It takes all her strength not to cave in and sob. Once. Just one time.
He kept throwing stones at him for 3 days. I could hear the thud. Thud. So I called you. I hope with all my heart it's not the last thing I do in Ravishol.
All right. Well, I would say you actually did the right thing here.
She definitely called the cops. That was task complete. It could not have been a lie. That is impossible.
Yeah, I don't think she would lie about this part, because it could get her into trouble with the people around here. But yeah, tell me more about the window.
Last week, Angus and Titus's brother, I think he's called Tibbs, took care of it.
Right, that's exactly what Titus told me as well. You should have another look at that window after this. Reconstruct the scene. It's right there.
I totally should. In her bedroom inside. Yeah, exactly that window.
Yes, you see the glass sparkling out of the corner of your eye.
Okay, well, in that case, maybe I should do this right away, especially since I'm pretty sure I'm done here for now.
She nods, silently. She doesn't even smoke. Just picks up the cold coffee and holds it in her hands.
The lieutenant glances at you, then at the door.
He's thinking, are we done here? Or...
Well, I mean, I have another skill check here. In God's name, wake up. I'm not sure what this is supposed to do. It may have something to do with that secret route, because that gives me 1 point plus. Yeah, I guess we will give this a try. My drama... How much is my drama? It's decent. Could be better. But okay, let's see if this works.
But we are awake, sire. She has been forthcoming with sordid details women usually conceal. Most shocking details of the sexual kind. We are a bulwark, unbreached.
Yeah, I mean, the question about the secret passage and the person who clearly left some footprints there, that is still an open question.
If you have doubts, just give us one example of deceit. Just one, and we will gladly change our minds.
Just a proposition. Could the lurid explicitness conceal something less sensational but more illegal? That's an interesting proposition. I got nothing. You're right, wise counsel. It is silly of me to imply she's lied. Maybe not lied, but she might be hiding something from us again. A lie of omission, like she did earlier when she didn't tell us about the murder. Yeah, I don't know. Maybe she is hiding something more.
Who is this personhood picking these seditious options? Can't you see the detective grows weary of your malcontent? Stop staring at her eyes and say something pertinent to the case. This is making you look like an amateur.
Yes, I guess I will have to increase my drama if I want to pass this skill check again.
It looks like this one's not waking up. You'll have to do it without pushing her further. At least for now.
At least for now. I suppose I can give this a try again, but my chances here are even lower. So, not sure about this one.
Just like the last
Nope.
time. Light brown eyes look back at you. All is as it was. You feel cigarette fume rise from her lips. She's just as beautiful.
Yep, but that doesn't help me. Even my higher volition wasn't able to do this.
Don't worry. We will protect you from her beauty. We will consult you through the reefs and sounds of her persona.
But I feel the other skill check, the one with the drama, is more important to my investigation anyway than this one.
We will see through deceits. You are shielded. You are wise. You are advised. There are muscles on long white bones that line her limbs, just below the silver jumpsuit. Miss Oranje Disco Dancer, you want to put your hand on her back and feel it arch.
Alright, so still can't really do anything here.
The strange moment ends. It was brief, no longer than 2.2 seconds.
So that's another failed skill check. But yeah, I will return later and maybe try that drama check again as soon as I have increased my drama. I mean, I could use my emergency point, but maybe not now. First of all, let's go back and have another look at the window.
This window is pristine on the inside, unlike the one next to it. Light from the desk lamp reflects off the glass in an untarnished golden halo.
Alright, I have another skill check, but this one is pretty high. I mean, my visual calculus is probably like my strongest skill of all. And composure and encyclopedia, but it's pretty damn high, so it would be a shame if I fail this skill check. So, what happened here?
Golden light melts away into the blue, glassy darkness of your mind. In it are two neon-lit shapes, a man and a woman on the single bed.
What position are they in?
Like the witness said, the man is kneeling, the woman is on her back. It's the night of March 4th and a shot has just been fired.
Okay, so it seems that she's telling the truth?
The man looks directly at the woman. The shot's possible directions converge in his mouth. A ray cast from somewhere outside, entering his brain.
Okay, and where does it come from?
From the roof outside, location A prime. The glass fractures around the bullet hole. Shards face inwards like a corona behind the woman's back.
Inspect the ghostly figures. Have a look at point A, the roof. Inspect the ghostly figures first?
The man does not know the bullet has entered his brain. He never will. Death comes faster than the realization.
Well, at least it was a quick death then. But yeah, let's have a look at point A.
The ray cast from the man's mouth unravels into a fan of possible directions, all on the roof at first. The shot could have come from any of them. This is composite location A prime, most likely of the origin points.
Shouldn't there be gun residue outside? I mean, depends on where the gunner was standing, right?
There could have been. Then the rain and slush and wind washed it away. This was more than a week ago.
True. So I'm, 80% sure the roof is where the shot was made from?
72%. With an
72.
antique weapon that fires military-grade ammunition. A Belmagrave rifle, for example. This is a good short distance, but not too short. The perpetrator aimed with their back against the railing, or possibly kneeling for precision. This would explain why it only took them one shot.
So that would imply that the person wanted to shoot Laylee and not her. I mean, 72% is good, but could be better.
The lights were on in here. Outside it was dark. It was like shooting fish in an aquarium. A well-lit aquarium. The victim opened his mouth to let the bullet in. Neither of them would have seen anything outside in the darkness. Too busy with their own bodies.
Okay, fair enough. could the shot have come from inside the room, a closer point? But then how do you explain the broken window? Are there any arguments against A prime the roof? Could there have been another point of origin further away? Yeah, I don't think it could have come from inside this room because of the window, but let's ask it anyway.
Point X would contradict the woman's testimony, rendering the entire proposition void. These figures would be wiped out, detective.
And again, it doesn't explain the broken window. Are there any arguments against A prime the roof?
None that you've found thus far, but that doesn't mean there aren't any.
Okay, fair enough. Okay, any other possible points of origin?
That's a 28%, yes. In this model, the shot could have come from a greater distance. Nothing excludes the possibility. Should we extrapolate to include every possible point of origin in Martinez?
Extrapolate the radius to include all of Martinez. I mean, there's only so far a bullet can travel, so I don't know if we really need to do that. But I'm kind of curious to see what happens if I do.
According to your map of the district, this shot could have come from a wide angle of locations, starting with the northern edge of the abandoned boardwalk, ending with an islet in the bay. Let's call them B prime.
Okay, tell me more about B prime.
B prime for boardwalk, B double prime for Land's End, and B triple prime for the islet, detective. There may be smaller points in between, but those are too fine to zoom in on.
Okay, now you gave me a whole bunch of new positions. Okay, let's see. Tell me more about the boardwalk.
700 meters away. The likeliest of these B positions, 20% chance. A skilled sniper could have made the shot, provided he had a safe sniper's nest. Even with the light on inside, we're talking military training. At that distance, the perpetrator would have had to take wind direction into account.
Interesting. I mean, I feel 20% is a small chance, but nothing that we should dismiss entirely. What about point B, Land's End?
1.2 kilometers away, the least likely of these positions. Let's say 3%. A truly skilled sniper could have done it, possibly from a tent. No, too far-fetched.
Yeah, 3% does seem very far-fetched. So what about the islet?
1 kilometer away, a point beyond the docks, on an islet in the bay. The fort is ruined, but the perpetrator may have found a stable spot on the beaches surrounding it, where the concrete crumbles into the sea, as you saw in the coin-operated view.
Okay.
The shot would have been a small miracle, 5% likelihood. There is an extremely narrow field of view from the bay to the window, between Rue de Saint-Ghislain 10 and 33A. The angle would have been extreme, and access to the islets is questionable.
Okay, so not very likely at all. Kim, do you think the shot could have come from further than the roof in Martinez? Yeah, what do you think about this?
From where, precisely?
Let's say B prime the boardwalk, B double prime Land's End, B triple prime the islet. Yeah, I mean, the boardwalk is probably a location we should take into account. The other two, I don't know about that.
I see you have given this a lot of thought. Are those the locations you've singled out in addition to the roof? And what is the likelihood, in your opinion, that it came from a further distance?
It's okay, much less than from the roof, but still, I'm just being thorough. It is much less than from the roof, but at least, the 20% chance should be investigated.
Okay, well, we should see if there is gunshot residue or sniper nests if we go down the coast. Rule these spots out one by one.
Yes, I agree.
It would be the diligent thing to do. Until then, personally, I'm going with the roof version. It fits the hidden path through the whirling. A simple hypothesis.
Alright, so we're going to assume that he was just standing on the roof outside of the window. Okay. Yeah, I guess that's all I can do here. Let's leave. Alright, well, again, Harry has proven his detective skills by coming up with a bunch of potential places where the shot could have come from. The boardwalk, the island, and Land's End. So these are basically my B locations. And I can check them out to rule them out and narrow onto the roof. Make Titus give up Ruby's location. Ruby was the organizer of the hanging. She's also missing, but the Hardy boys will be tight-lipped about her location. You need to get them to open up. Have you fully explored the whirling, analyzed the site of the murder, truly and thoroughly interrogated Classy? All this might make convincing them easier. I think I have fully and truly interrogated Classy. Of course, I wonder if she has anything new to say now that I have investigated the window. Maybe I do want to talk to her again.
Officer, what brings you up here in the rain?
Well, my skill checks are still locked, of course.
Yeah?
And I don't have any new questions here. I had a few more comments about what's behind that door, about the drug collection of the... do I have any new comments about what's behind that door?
Mm-hmm. Go ahead.
Nope, I do not.
Mm-hmm. All right.
So it doesn't look like I can talk to her about my new theories here. Yeah, I guess maybe I should increase my drama with my next skill point. That would be a good idea. But yeah, again, we made some progress today, and I guess I will go and talk to Titus again in the next episode, going back and forth. And I feel after I finish that I have done enough proper investigation today, and maybe I will just try to finish some of my less important tasks or just go and explore a little bit, because there's still some places I haven't really been to, since we made some good progress with our investigation in the last few hours. But I guess for now, I'm going to call it a day. So as always, thank you for watching, and see you again next time.